I was just captivated by the serenity of the dance movements and those reverberated snaps, like in the Spanish at the end. It was just a very captivating piece.
Thank you. It was such a gift to have Kendra invite me all of a sudden to do something like this. And at this time where as artists, we're always wanting to give more. Um, when I teach, I always feel like I'm able to give, and that heals me and makes me whole. And because of the COVID-19 circumstance, I feel like I've been trapped in not being able to give enough. And honestly, it was beautiful because in two snaps of the fingers, literally, um, because I have a husband who is so amazingly giving to me and kind. Um, and he's also gifted musically and a wonderful composer. I was like, hey, Peter, Kendra invited me to do this, and you have that one piece that you wrote for our son when he was going to college, and it was just a year ago and a half that he wrote that piece of music. And I said, I know it's short, but I'm thinking, that maybe we can do something with it, like use it as bookends and then do a little bit of my text in the middle. And then he's like, okay, he's always willing to create if it's for a good cause. And I thought this was a beautiful cause. And
That's amazing.
so we went into the studio. It did take some hours because of Pro Tools and recording my snaps.
Yeah.
Like you said, so that they would do, even though I told Kendra, don't worry about matching my lips or matching my snaps. It's not about, I don't know, it's not a movie. I don't need it to be exactly. What I want is for the energy,
Right.
to flow. So I'm glad to hear that it moved you.
That's incredible. And I loved what you had to say about giving and how you and your husband can come together and sort of co-create this beautiful vision on this art piece. And it makes me want to ask you, like, going in depth with this, what is something that draws you to your art form?
Well, specifically to being a choreographer and creating original pieces of moving art that can reach and inspire and motivate and I don't know, perhaps save one person from loneliness or save one person from sadness, right? So
Yes.
as a choreographer, my it's going to sound super corny, but since I was very young, I felt that I was put on this earth for something. I was put on this earth for something, right? And the only time that I feel completely whole is when I am moving, when I am locomoting, when I am treading the space, feeling the earth underneath me, enjoying the wind beside me, or the smell of a flower, or anything. So to get back to what inspires me to create in this way, if I am correct in that was your question, feel like choreography. I was born to make dances, whether they are dances that other people will enjoy or whether they are dances that other people will appreciate, is not the reason why I was born. I was born to move. I was born to create with movement. And when I can do that, it's when I feel that the biggest powers on this earth are with me.
Mm.
That they make me resonate with, like I'm looking at you right now, and I'm looking at your movement, right? And you have this like, right?
Yep.
And
I'm a musician, so like I feel the rhythms
right?
and it's beautiful hearing you share that and just how you approach creation, and not only that, how you approach co-creation. I feel oftentimes like us artists, we tend to get self-critical in ourselves, and that becomes when our image becomes about other people. but you appear to embody this image, this healthy virtue and image of art that you feel alive yourself when you are immersed in your element. And I want to ask you if that there was this aspect of kindness that showed up in your art. And what can you tell me about that? Because there is that self-respect that comes with doing your art, and just what you even mentioned, you want to spread, you want to uplift people. Like, could you tell me more about that?
Kindness in my art. I feel that if you and I were having this conversation face to face without a computer between us, or two computers between us, or phone,
Yeah,
whatever you're using, right? You and I would be in a situation where kindness would evolve between you and me, because I would be like, okay, what instrument do you play, and what do you do, and play something for me, and immediately I would start moving with you, and I would find that your talent would bring kindness to my heart at that moment,
beautiful.
and then I could dance with you. So I feel, because I've been teaching since I was 6 years old, is when I first choreographed my first dance in Mexico with the help of my mother, because she was the adult and she stood there telling the whole school. I choreographed for a whole elementary school. I choreographed a Mother's Day dance, right? At any
Yeah.
rate, I feel that kindness comes when you give, truly give of yourself to others, and not necessarily because you're going to get a medal for it, but because others need of your energy and you can spare it. You can
That's
give it.
beautiful.
You're born with it to give. So I
Yes.
feel, so I feel I was born with this particular blessing, and I love to share it, and I love to give it. And when I teach at the community college and I teach my classes, I love to do it. And yeah, I don't always come out as like, oh, she's just beautifully kind. Sometimes, because I have to teach something, I come out as, man, she wants a lot from me.
Right.
I do expect a lot from myself, but I also expect a lot from you. You know,
That's
I
awesome.
I expect from other humans, and I expect from myself. Kindness for me lies somewhere in the midst of a revolving dance of creation.
Whoa.
A
Okay, that
revolving
is a quote. I want to ask you, you mentioned quite a bit that you want to help the world through your art. If you were to share, if your art had a message to it, like if your art said something, what would that message look like?
If I had one message to relay, it would be that my art wants to be able to be an intercultural and interdisciplinary action that can inspire cultures and different disciplines to come together to create instead of separate.
Or let's say any student that is aspiring to learn this art form of dance, what would be some steps you could give them to sort of get started on this art form?
Okay, first, in order to create from your heart and from your soul, you have to be honest to yourself. You have to be honest, and you have to not think that you are on camera and that somebody's going to judge you.
Mm,
On the other hand, you have to be on the biggest I in the world. I look at it as my higher being, right? Personally, I always think that God is watching me. Therefore, I don't need a bunch of humans judging me. I have to keep up with myself, my own inner world, right? So, okay, number one, know yourself. Number two, right? Make a list. I mean, I can teach you 20 classes of 20 lessons that I have. I'm just going to go through one lesson on how to create, right? If it's two of you and one of you is a musician and one of you is a dancer, have that musician go by himself or by herself and create just 30 seconds of something that they feel good about. They feel is honest and it represents them. And have the dancer do the same thing. Memorize them. So they are solid 30 seconds of something. Creative, original, and yours. Own it. If somebody were to see it, they're like, oh yeah, but that's like when, I don't know, I'm going to go off.
Right.
When Beyonce had that video, that's what I said. No. I mean, just 30 seconds of you. 30 seconds of you, raw.
Right.
Raw. And then meet after it's created. So it might take, for one of you, it might take 2 minutes. And for another one, it might take 2 days. But don't make it like 2 weeks or 2 months. Quick enough. A 2-day turnaround, meet again. And then the next lesson is you're going to do a videotape and do them simultaneously. The music is played and the dance is danced. It doesn't matter if they go together or not. You're just going to throw them together, kind of like an aberration, right? To see if they go wow and explode, or if they go and like without knowing, just because you chose to work together, they find a nook and cranny to work around.
That's a really awesome method. And like it's helpful, and I can see it being a very good creative method, because people can come together, right, and try to create, but there's this aspect of us that wants to be good enough for the other person. And so
that's lesson number 2, right? Because then you have to do the next 30 seconds together. It's like, so now you have these 30 seconds apart. Now the next 30 seconds you have to create together. So you have 30 seconds apart, 30 seconds together. And then the third lesson is, how do you begin to separate them? How do you begin to separate them so that not necessarily you become like ABA form in creation or choreography, but ABC maybe, or ABA for one of you, ABC for the other one. Anyway, you have a piece. You have a 1.5 minute piece with 2 people that are artists.
We are running a bit short here on time, so I want to ask one final question. What does the golden rule mean to you?
To give to others everything that I have without harming anybody. To treat every single human better than I think I should be treated. To love deeper than I think I'm possible. To love deeper than I think is possible for me to love. And believe me, I can love a lot. I need to love more. I need to give more. So the golden rule is, if there's ever a possibility to have an environment where I can give like that and still continue to have enough energy and be recharged so I can continue spinning forward to give, I think the golden rule is, to me, that all religious beliefs, all cultures, all artists, all human beings, we are all worth 100%. Whether we have mental issues, physical issues, emotional issues, we have this love within us.
We aren't separate. Thank you so much, Liliana, for offering your time and doing this interview with me.